Hi, Alan Schimmel of DevOps.com, here with Lucas Gravley of HP at the DevOps Enterprise Summit 2015. Lucas is speaking about incorporating chat and these kinds of technologies together to sort of a continuous flow, if you will.
Yeah.
Lucas, you could probably say it better than I. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what you're talking about?
Sure. So the topic I'm doing is ChatOps trying to help assist DevOps. And the idea behind it is when you have persistent chat constantly working for you with tools, they get the collaboration that DevOps is needed, and it helps break down the barriers and the walls that a lot of teams have, where your dev and your ops are so far apart, or they're not on the same page, they don't understand what's going on. So when you introduce these persistent chats where everyone can talk, see what they're doing, you can work together and you can build the automation around it, it really speeds up the process.
Sure. And Lucas, I'm talking to you off camera. You kind of use a potpourri of different tools here put together. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit?
Sure. So we've tried to get everything involved in the same tool. So we have back-end Nagios monitoring. We're using a persistent chat called Flowdog. All the automation and back-end that we're trying to get done is using Electric Cloud's Electric Flow product and things like that. And so open source Hubot to do our bots in the room, so being able to call the bot to say, hey, go fetch me this information, it runs the scripts back in the automation environment, or it'll query our monitoring and all that great stuff, and being able to have it come together and send it back in one place and say, here's the information you asked for right here. So, really cool.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool. And then, of course, one of the things you mentioned about it was the ability where you're kind of like pushing code right from your phone using this ChatOps kind of interface.
So it's really cool to be able to access this anywhere. I can be on my cell phone. I can be in the office. It's got to be available anywhere to do it, and that's what really helps. So when you have diversified teams where I'm working with someone in China, I don't want to have to log in at 10 o'clock at night and get into my VPN. Instead, I can just grab my cell phone in bed and say, here's where the information is, or look this up, or let me kick off this job for you, and you can check the actual results.
Very good. And Lucas, give us an idea of which teams in HP are you working with using this?
Sure. So we're building this out in R&D IT. We're a group that helps build a lot of the applications that HP uses internally. So we do the source control management, the build and deploy, the quality tools, and we give that to everyone in HP to use these tools. So the idea is for our team to be able to talk with the ops teams that help keep our tools alive to keep HP productive.
Sure. And ChatOps is actually, Lucas, a pretty hot area within DevOps. We've seen a bunch of companies sort of trying to
I think in the last few years, it has become that new buzzword or term, and I think the idea behind it is a lot of people have seen that DevOps is this culture change that you have to get going, and when you get people to actually trust each other and you can see each other doing each other's work, it helps build that trust and it helps enable DevOps.
Absolutely. Lucas, besides your own summit, besides your own session, what are the top two other sessions you're looking forward to here?
So there is a really fun one about Docker containers. I'm very interested about that. And I was looking at one earlier and I forgot what it was now.
It's okay. It's okay. The Docker one is probably the one we've heard most people say.
Yeah.
And Docker is certainly on everyone's mind, so it seems. Yeah. One last question for you, Lucas. What do you think this looks like in 3 to 5 years? Do you still call it DevOps? Is there something new coming?
It's very interesting. I started coming to this conference back in 2013, and when they were talking about DevOps working for you, and didn't really understand the term. They were trying to make it happen in HP, and no one really understood what it was. I came again last year, and I started realizing what is DevOps, what it's actually doing. This year we're speaking on it and how it's really working for HP as a company, and I think in the next 5 years, I think we can see the actual culture start shifting to where it is the next big thing, it is the next cultural norm that will be. So I expect great big things from HP in it, and I expect a lot of the industry to float that direction.
Very cool. Lucas Gravley of HP, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And great session, and enjoy DevOps Enterprise Summit 2015.